Are you a coffee fanatic and wondering what Keene has to offer when it comes to coffee shops? Well, Keene has a ton to offer for coffee, but when it comes to like true coffee shops, there's really two that kind of dominate the space around here. But in this video, I'm going to be going over 3 of the top coffee shops that I think are kind of more sit down and actually enjoy yourself type coffee shops. And then I'll also end the video with all the options for coffee in Keene, which again is a lot. But let's dive into the top 3 right now. And we're gonna actually start from the back of the list. So we're gonna start with number 3, which is the Brewbakers Cafe on Main Street here in Keene. And this is a place that was actually founded in 1988 in Manchester, Vermont. And the guy, the owner, has built himself kind of a little empire. He has, I believe, 10 locations now across Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Mass, and New York. And he's really kind of expanded it. Again, this is more of a, it's called a cafe. They offer a great menu for breakfast, lunch, and of course they have coffee there, but they're not really as well known for their coffee in particular as they are just their food in general. So that's why I have this at number 3. And the way I kind of compare this whenever anybody asks me what the works is like is I compare it to more of a locally sourced, more natural food type Panera Bread. They have a lot of the same kind of feeling when it comes to ordering sandwiches, bowls of soup, salads. Like I said, again, more locally sourced, which is really good to see, and they support a lot of the local farmers, which I love. But this is definitely a great spot for bagels in Keene, and probably the best option you're gonna find because Keene lacks great bagel spots or like dedicated bagel spots. So this is probably your best bet if you want a good morning bagel. And again, this is very popular for either a quick stop before work or a quick bite to grab at lunch for something to eat for a lot of the locals here in Keene. Coming in at number 2, we have Prime Roast, which again, this is just down the street from the Brewbakers Cafe on Main Street at 16 Main Street. And this place was founded in 1993, and the owners had a goal of bringing the freshest coffee to the southwest part of New Hampshire. And the only downside I really have to say about Prime Roast, and the reason it's not number 1 in my eyes, is just because the location's great, super cute area. You'll see the outside that I put in this video. It's a super great, nice location right on Main Street. So if you're walking on, that's probably the coffee shop you're gonna hit. But the only downside again is that they don't have a ton of seating because it's kind of a smaller storefront. So you just don't have as much seating options. I believe when I went in there before, I've been in there a few times, but it's not my go-to just because it has the lack of seating. But I would say it probably holds anywhere from like 10 to 12 people. Again, this was a little bit ago since I've been in there, but I will say I think I've probably had the best latte of my life at that place. It was this Nutella latte and it was great. So they do have very good coffee. They also have fresh baked goods out in like a little pastry thing that you can pick from, and they definitely have a lot of good options. I don't believe that they serve any type of lunch deal. I could be wrong on that, don't quote me on that. But this place is definitely like a true coffee shop that you'll find some great coffee at. And before we get to my personal favorite at number 1, make sure if you're getting any value from this video to hit that like button. It helps greatly. So coming in at number 1 on my list is Brewbakers Cafe here in Keene. They're actually a little bit off of Main Street. They're at 48 Emerald Street here in Keene. And the reason that I like that is because 1, you get to have off-street parking, not have to pay for parking. Their parking lot is a little bit of a pain in the butt sometimes, so they actually expanded a little bit to the lot across the street. They spoke with those owners and got permission to allow customers to park over there because the lack of parking was a problem, but they have fixed that so far. And this place is just, I love it there. It's just a great vibe. It's basically an old mill building that they turned into a coffee shop. So it's got like super tall ceilings. You can see all the exposed pipes and wires. And it's really just a great vibe. The place is huge. It probably has like enough seating for, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 people or so. Like it's a big place. And if you actually like pack people in there, it fits a lot. it depends if like one person's taking up a seat of 4, that kind of narrows it down a little bit. But they have great coffee there. This is my go-to. I'm there probably 3 to 4 times a week, just getting some work done on the laptop, meeting clients, all that type of stuff I like to have at Brewbakers. They also have great pastry selection every morning. They have a great menu for breakfast and lunch. And they also do events here like in the evening some weeks during the night, where at those events they serve, I believe, wine and beer. So they kind of really cover it all. And they also have their own roasting company in the same location, so you can kind of like see the behind the scenes, which is kind of cool. And it's just a really cool shop. Like, they have a ton of workers and they're just all super friendly, and I really enjoy going there, getting some work done and seeing some people that I'm starting to get acquainted with since I'm there so often. So that wraps it up for the 3 top coffee shops in Keene. Again, the 2 really dominant players are Prime Roast and Brewbakers when you're speaking of like just coffee shops in general, like the kind of ones that you're gonna go down and sit for maybe an hour, drink a coffee, read a book, do some work, meet a friend, that type of coffee shop. Now for the rest of like the commercial type coffee shops, Keene has a decent amount of those also. So these are the ones I'm gonna mention now. And those are ones like Dunkin' Donuts. You got, I believe, 3 locations in this small city of Keene. 2 of them are on the same road, literally within like 3 lights of each other. One has a drive-through, one does not. The one without it usually gets better coffee in my eyes, but maybe that's just the luck of the draw for me. And then next you got Starbucks, and we have 2 of those here in Keene. One of them is just like a physical location where you can actually like have the drive-through, pull up, sit down, do whatever you want. And then the other one is found in the Target that we have in Keene, because you know how those 2 usually link up. So there's 2 of those Starbucks. And last is Aroma Joe's, and this one actually I believe opened either late last year or the beginning of this year. And this one's just a nice little drive-through, again on the same road as the 2 Dunkin' Donuts and the 1 Starbucks. So you got a lot of options for coffee on that one road. And that's kind of all the ones for the commercial stuff. And then of course you got like gas station coffee, Cumberland Farms, Cumbies as we all call it when you're actually go to Cumbies a lot. They have actually really decent coffee for $1. So if you need a cheap out, go to Cumbies and get a nice coffee. You can make it yourself too, so you get to make it how you want. But that's just my little thing on Cumbies, because I was obsessed with Cumbies coffee for like a year and a half. Hard deal to beat $1 for a large iced coffee, and I liked large iced coffees back then, so I was drinking a lot of them. So that is it for the coffee shops here in Keene. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, as it does help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And if there's anything else that you like want to learn about Keene or interested in it, just feel free to drop it down below in the comments. Maybe I'll make a video out of it, or maybe a short, something like that, so I can answer your question, add you some value. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys next week.